All right, so War 8, we have Apocalypse, Quake, and Kingpin bans. All right, so Boss Island, we've got a Mojo Boss. It's probably going to be Mr. Negative, Human Torch, Scorpion, Quicksilver, Mangog, Magic, Scorpion, Mr. Negative, Quicksilver, Sasquatch, Quicksilver again, Immortal Abomination, Human Torch, Hulkling, Rindraw, Hood, Even Doom, Terrax. You can probably get away with Elsa, but Immortal Abomination and probably even Rindraw work there, sticking to special 3 with Immortal Abomination. Hyperion, you can go with Cosmic Ghost Rider, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Symbiote Supreme, and I'm sure Quicksilver works. Galland there, you've got Kitty Pryde, you've got Blade, and you've got Anti-Venom, and then King Groot, Rindraw, Hood, Immortal Abomination, S9 or not S G99. There are plenty of options for him there. Even Herc. Section 2, 1 through 3 on the way out: Surfer, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Null. Path 1, anything for Apocalypse. The easiest is Omega Sentinel, since you can heal block and you don't have to worry about the unblockable, but Nimrod does just fine as well. And then Hulkbuster, probably Cosmic Ghost Rider, or you could even get away with Mr. Negative and using special 3. Path 2, gonna be you could probably use Archangel or Warlock for Green Goblin, and then Warlock or Nimrod or Omega Sentinel for Domino. And then path 3, Nebula, maybe Cosmic Ghost Rider, maybe Claire for Nimrod, and then for Super Skrull, Null, Doom will probably work. And yeah, those are probably your 2 best. 4 through 6 on the way out: Rindraw, you got Kitty Pryde, you got Mr. Negative, you got Human Torch. Path 4, I'll probably just strictly go with Nebula. For Omega Sentinel, you can probably get away with Herc as well. And then Man-Thing, Mr. Negative, or any poison immune, really, and then you only deal with Armor Break. Or if you just use a Nullify immune, so Ant-Man probably works too. Path 5, Human Torch the whole thing. You can Mr. Negative, you can Kitty Pryde the whole thing. Path 6, Nimrod, Omega Sentinel, plenty of options for Mr. Sinister. You can even use, actually don't use Nimrod, you can actually use Cosmic Ghost Rider for him as well. And then Scorpion, a poison immune, should do fine. Shang-Chi probably even does well too, pushing him to special 2. And then Maw on the way in, Omega Sentinel or Mr. Negative, since they're both Nullify immune and therefore Power Snack does not even function there. 7 through 9 on the way out: Cersei, you got Rindraw, you got Symbiote Supreme, you have Hood. 7, Penny, you got Magneto and Omega Red. And then Kitty Pryde, Omega Sentinel, or Nimrod. And then path 8, Omega Sentinel or War Machine for Storm Pyramid X, and then Fury, Mole Man, any evade counter for spam. And then path 9, you can actually use Nebula for the whole thing. I'm sure you can use Cosmic Ghost Rider for Bishop. I know I've done that. And then maybe you could get away with Human Torch for long shot and hope that the Odin shock does not get nullified. On the way in, you've got Void, Shang-Chi works, Cosmic Ghost Rider works, Nebula works. So plenty of options there. 1 through 3 on the way in section 2, we had a Guardian that can be taken by Null or Cosmic Ghost Rider. Fury on the Root, Scared Stiff, Node. I think Archangel can and Omega Red can, but Cosmic Ghost Rider can as well. It's a pretty interesting fight. And then Doom on the way there for Hazard Shift. You've got Human Torch. You can probably use Ant-Man. Those are probably 2 of your better options. 1 through 3 on the way out: Mephisto, Kitty Pryde or Human Torch with Nova Flame, Magneto, I took that with Omega Sentinel once, but I'm sure you can use Null or any of the other Sick and Tired champs as long as there are a lot of debuffs. Path 2, Elsa or Falcon for that Eye Hulk. Falcon could end up bugging the fight, but you can probably get away with Warlock as well. And then Korg there, really anyone. Omega Red, White Magneto, any Korg counter. And then Colossus, Gallon, or Hulkling are going to be your top 2. 4 through 6 on the way out, Tigra. You've got Mr. Negative, you got Human Torch, you've got probably even Miles, to be honest. Path 4, Killmonger. Best option is Cosmic Ghost Rider. Can probably get away with Archangel as well. Path 5, Claire, White Magneto, Warlock for Thing. And then Mordo, Human Torch, Kitty Pryde. Plenty of options for him. Even Null. And then Arcus, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Doom. Plenty of options for him. 7 and 9 on the way out. Null, you've got Cosmic Ghost Rider and Shang-Chi. And then Path 7, Warlock or Omega Red for the whole thing. Not Warlock for Kingpin. You could use Archangel there. Path 8, Dragon Man. You can use Human Torch. You can use Mr. Negative. You can use Nebula. And then Path 9, Havoc. You're probably going to go with Warlock. Maybe risk Nimrod or Omega Sentinel. And then MODOK. You can either go parry heavy with just Warlock during the poison phase, or you can go ahead and just use Penny and deal with the auto block. So that's the end of defense. Let's take a look at attack. All right, so War 8 is against Salty, and this is a good one. Today I am taking in Hulkling, Nebula, and Mr. Negative. I've got Path 3 in Section 1, Path 4 in Section 2, a mini-boss on Boss Island, and I actually have boss duty with that Mojo Boss using Mr. Negative. Looking back, I actually had to go look at videos. Season 29 was the last time I used Mr. Negative against a boss, and Season 33 was the last time I actually had a boss assigned. So Hulkling here, Path 3, he cheeses this path. I actually go baby boosts here, medium, so that I can burn up energy and help us get moving so that we can take this boss down on the first night instead of the following day. So game plan here was to aggressively fight until we get to Special 2, and then when we get to Special 2, kind of get Colossus the turtle and make sure we have 5 shape shifting charges, since we're not going to hit into block once here, and then we're going to hit into his block 5 times and drop Special 2. So the key here is to make sure that all 5 hits go into block, that we don't do a single unblockable hit before throwing the Special 2, because that'll put us in a special lock, and you can see there, just kind of nukes him down. Now we have the double fury, we're going to combo him. I still have the Pierce buffs, he turtles, so I just hit into his block, and he's done. So 36-second fight, Hulkling just cheeses it, and it's his only fight for this war. Okay, we 6-hour boost here, we're going to take our Section 2 path, and we're going to take our boss and mini-boss with these boosts. Mr. Negative here against Maw, it's got power snacks, so that node is non-existent. I decided to go with an APB, even though Maw is going to prevent me from getting a full bar of power. The only real caution here is to realize when he's focused and not focused, and when you have a power sting, but it only lasts 6 seconds. So I practiced out Maw to get a first set of dark energy, and I went ahead and put Resonate on so that I can cause him to take forever to focus, 14 seconds, double the time, since he has a non-damaging debuff on him when he's knocked down. So that gives us some time to play with. We don't really have to deal with Falter. However, this Maw ends up being a bit passive with this Special 1, so we end up wasting time trying to get him to throw Special 1. We also ended up wasting a set of light energy. So now I'm going to have to aggressively parry here to try and build some. We're in a good spot. Maw has not gained his other bar of power. There it is. So now we can let the power sting expire. We can build up a little more light energy so that we're over the 10. And here I decide to evade counter into the special 2 since he's focusing, and the degen here is going to knock him out. So easy Maw fight. You just have to be comfortable fighting Maw with Mr. Negative, even without practice through that heavy against his heavy. And the timing is interesting. Omega Sentinel here decide to use Nebula. It's her only fight. Since this node does have increased defensive ability accuracy, we have to make sure we have a lot more charges before we start going to town. Instead of the 5, we have to build 10. Each charge is 20%, so we're going to get a 200% ability accuracy reduction for this Omega Sentinel. Now, my plan was to see how many armor ups she had when we get going. And if she had way less than 5 or even 4, I was just going to parry at special 2 with 20 charges and throw the special 2. So she ended up gaining none in my process of building charges. So now we're just hitting into her block to make space because we got a little too close to the wall. We're baiting special 1s, we're retaliating the special 1s. And this is pretty much the fight. We're building the last few sets of charges while we block special 1. And then when we get to special 2, we're going to get our last few so that we're at 20. And then when we're good and ready, I'm going to try and get this special 1 out before we do this. She's being stubborn. And now from here, build the 20. We are going to parry, 1 hit, special 2, double our charges, and Omega Sentinel's going bye-bye. So, easy Nebula fight. Not the quickest, but we got the job done. Manthing here, kind of a silly fight for Mr. Negative, so I decide to combat regen. I mean, we're going to parry heavy 3 times. The first parry, I actually did not heavy. Was already thinking about Mangog and Mojo. So, but the goal here, 9 or less light energy for the first evade counter, and then build the second set, and then evade counter into special 2, and just watch Manthing melt. So there's our first evade counter. Gonna build a second set of light energy as we create some space. We're gonna bait out the special 1, use those buffs to build light energy. And here I just decide not to parry. Evade counter combo to special 2, drop the special 2. And with 18 degens, he just kind of ticks away. I didn't check if he has willpower, but double petrify and max despair, he's just kind of killing himself. So pretty easy section fights and path fights. Nothing too stressful. On to the Mangog that we are so used to taking. This fight always looks perfect if Mangog throws the special 1 beside or between our evade counters. And this war, I just really didn't care if he threw it. So game plan, parry 3 times, but on the 3rd we're going to heavy. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3 with the heavy. We have enough power, so we're going to try and parry. We miss it. He heavies, it's fine. I still got time. Parry, evade counter. So now we have the max dark from the first evade counter without them expiring. Parry 3 times again. And on the 3rd heavy, we're going to evade counter here off a blocked hit, and then go into special 2 since unfazed didn't trigger. And here I just don't care. I'm just going to parry heavy him. Help that degen along. If he throws the special 2, which he does, I'll evade the first, text the first hit, and then block the rest. I had in equity maxed, so that's why we didn't take that much damage, especially with Resonate on, and he was gone. All that resulted in was potion use. So, Mr. Negative versus Mojo. If you guys have seen any of these from back in season 29, and these videos are posted, it was always a rank 3 Mojo and a rank 3 Mr. Negative. By the time I got a rank 4 Mr. Negative, S99 was the main go-to, and no one was stopping him taking bosses, so Mojo ended up off. Since S99 is whitelisted, here's the game plan. Now, I was going to parry to bait a heavy and then counter it, but I ended up accidentally parrying again, and I saw the 5 light energy, and that kind of freaked me out a little bit because I thought I built light energy way too quick, and then I was going to lose this set. So I end up throwing this special 1 with 6. Not ideal, but 6 to 9 is kind of the range that I want. And then from here, we're supposed to build to special 2 and just throw the special 2 with the dark energy we have. Since we can't evade counter the node, we can't go over 10. There is a trick if you want to risk using up your invulnerability, and that's eating a special 1, which I probably could have done here. There's kind of a window that works out perfect. And I was like, I should do it. But what ended up happening was that I trigger a dexterity buff trying to bait out the special 1, and I still have it. And I have to convert that before I attack. And I think it's coming up right about here. So I chose not to eat the last hit. Yeah, it's probably after this one right here. And prompts did not work out for me. There it is, the dex buff. I have the dex to remove it. He's got the fury, and I did not want that massive degen. So I throw this special 2 with only 6. Not a big deal. End up losing the set of light energy that I had. So we're going to have to build some more. Finally get this special 2 out, which is good. Idle came up. I didn't even see it, and therefore I ended up with a hater buff. But we had enough debuffs on him that it healed me, actually. And this one is too. Building our second set of light energy. There we are at 9. I'm going to try and get this out without triggering dex, which was perfect. So now we're at the max dark if we're not going to eat the last hit of a special 1. I feel like I have no choice but to dex there and go ahead and hit him. I guess I could have parried it. I was practicing, and you'll see later, parrying the last hit of his special 1. So second special 2 out, perfect. He's degenning with 10 degens. From here, it's just going to take another special 2 and we'll be done. But he really does not want to throw this special 2. So right about here is where it goes south, because I'm against the wall. He's not throwing this. Luckily, he's only at 3 followers. I decide to push him. Go, hey, invulnerability is still there. Let's tank it. And I actually did not know how many followers he had. He had a prompt ready, so this activates it immediately. So it means 4 degens when we come out. We're going to take a bit more damage than I can actually deal with healing wise. I go, whatever, it's okay. Let's just focus once we get this second special 2 out. When I came out of that special 3, I did not notice that my light had converted to dark, and I did not want to throw that special 1. It should have just led to the special 2, and that would have ended the fight. So when I realized that, I'm like, oh, I got to save this light energy, and I used that special 1 before the other dark energy expired, so that went bye-bye. So now I have to do another special 1. This all adds about another minute to the fight. But right about, and that idle, again, I have old video footage where me and Mojo kind of just dance battle, and he decided not to there. So here is where I realized I'm going to win this fight. Special 1 converted 8 dark. I'm very aware that I have the 8 dark energy, so now we just have to build the special 2. He's low on power, he's low on followers, we're good. All I got to do is keep pushing into special 1. Baiting it out, and if he keeps throwing it, we're in a good space. He's still throwing it, perfect. We're just building a special 2 at this point, making sure to bait out the special 1, and this special 1 will do it. That will combo 2 special 2, and the degen from this will KO him. So it took a whole minute longer than it needed to, but it felt good clutching out that fight, even though it took 4 minutes. So our battle group ended up beating theirs by getting a donut to their 2 deaths. But we ended up losing this war 3-4, which is pretty devastating. We're still near the top, but chances for top 3 are pretty slim now, given who's at the top and who we would have to beat. So be some miracle. But yeah, this loss was a pretty sour taste. But I hope you guys enjoyed the war video. Give it a like, hit subscribe. I'll catch you guys at the next one.